Hello everyone. Today discuss structure of human heart. Structure of human heart. So the human heart contains four chambers. The human heart contains four chambers. Upper two chambers are called the atria. Lower two chambers are called the ventricles. The human heart contains four chambers. Upper two chambers are called the atria. Lower two chambers are called the ventricles. The human heart contains four chambers. So the upper two chambers are called the atria, lower two chambers are called the ventricles. So these are the right atria, these are the left atria. So these are the right ventricle, these are the left ventricle. Next one, so the heart is a blood pumping chamber. Heart is a blood pumping chamber. Next one, origin. Heart origin from the mesodermal in origin. The heart is origin from the mesodermal in origin. It is a mesodermal in origin. Next one, location. The heart is located in the mediastinum. The heart is located from the mediastinum. This region is the mediastinum. So it is presenting on the between the two lungs. Heart is presenting on the between the two lungs, and it is slightly turned to the left side. It is slightly turned to the left side. It is slightly turned to the left side. Next one, heart size. Heart size. The normally the heart the clenched fist. The size is the clenched fist side. Our clenched fist size. Next one, the heart weight. The heart weight. The normally the male beings is a 280 grams to 340 grams. 280 grams to 340 grams. The females 230 grams to 280 grams. 230 grams to 280 grams. Next one, the heart is covered by the membrane. The heart is covered by the membrane. That membrane is called the pericardium. That membrane is called the pericardium. The pericardium contains two layers. The pericardium is a two layers. Outer fibrous pericardium, inner serous pericardium. Outer fibrous pericardium, inner serous pericardium. So the serous pericardium is divided into two layers. The serous pericardium is divided into two layers. Outer parietal layer, inner visceral layer. Outer parietal layer, inner visceral layer. Between these two layers presenting on the space, that space is called the pericardial space. That space is called the pericardial space. That space filled with a fluid. That space filled with a fluid. That fluid is called the pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid. This fluid function heart free movement of the heart function. The free movement of the heart. Next one, the heart wall contains three layers. Outer epicardium, middle myocardium, inner endocardium. Outer epicardium, middle myocardium, inner endocardium. Next one, structure of the heart. So the heart contains four chambers. Upper two chambers are called the atria. Lower two chambers are called the ventricles. First one, atrium. So the upper two chambers are called the atria. So the two atrias. That two atrias is separated by the interatrial septum. So these are called the interatrial septum. Interatrial septum. The two atrias, the left atria and right atria, is separated by the septum. That septum is called the interatrial septum. Interatrial septum. In the fetal stage. Fetal stage means in the presenting on the mother womb. That stage is called the fetal stage. The interatrial septum contains a hole. Interatrial septum contains a hole. In the embryonic stage, in the fetal heart, the interatrial septum contains a hole. That hole is called the foramen ovale. foramen ovale. Foramen ovale. The hole is called the foramen ovale. So these foramen ovale close. These foramen ovale close at birth. These foramen ovale close at birth when lung become functional. These foramen ovale close at birth when after lungs become functional. Lungs functional after birth, so their hole is closed. So they are presenting on the mark. They are presenting on the that region presenting on the small mark. That mark is called the fossa ovalis. That mark is called the fossa. Fossa ovalis. That mark is called the fossa ovalis. Some children's rare conditions. Some children's this hole does not proper close. Does not proper close. That is called the patent foramen ovale. Patent foramen ovale. The hole does not close. So these are called the patent foramen ovale. Patent foramen ovale. Next one, right atrium. The right atrium receiving from the deoxygenated blood. The right atrium receiving deoxygenated blood from the all the body parts except the lungs. Except the lungs. The right atrium receiving deoxygenated blood from all the body parts except the lungs. Except the lungs through the three caval veins. Through the three caval veins. One is the superior vena cava. One is the superior vena cava. These are the superior vena cava. Superior vena cava. Another one is the inferior vena cava. So these are the inferior vena cava. So these are the inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. Another one is called the coronary sinus. So they are the coronary sinus. Coronary sinus. So the right atrium receiving deoxygenated blood from all the body parts except the lungs through the three caval veins. One is superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, coronary sinus. First one superior vena cava. First one superior vena cava is also called precaval vein. It is also called as precaval vein. The inferior vena cava is also called as postcaval vein. Is also called as postcaval vein. So the superior vena cava, the blood receiving from the thorax, forelimbs and head region. So the superior vena cava is deoxygenated blood receiving from the head, thorax and forelimbs. Head, thorax and forelimbs. Forelimbs means hands. Next one, inferior vena cava. The inferior vena cava is the blood receiving from the abdomen and hind limbs. Abdomen and hind limbs. So these are the abdomen region and one legs. It receiving from the deoxygenated blood. Next one, the coronary sinus. Coronary sinus. It is receiving deoxygenated blood from the heart valves. Heart valves. It is receiving deoxygenated blood from the heart valves. So these are the right atrium receiving deoxygenated blood from all the body parts except the lungs through the three caval veins: superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, coronary sinus. The superior vena cava blood collecting from the thorax, forelimbs, head. Inferior vena cava blood collecting from the abdomen and legs. Next one, the coronary sinus receiving from the blood from the heart valves. Heart valves. Next one, the inferior vena cava. So they are the inferior vena cava. these are opens into the right atrium. In this region contain a valve. The valve is called the Eustachian valve. Eustachian valve. Next one, the coronary sinus opens into the right atrium. This region presenting on the valve. This valve is called the Sebaceous valve. Sebaceous valve. Sebaceous valve. Sebaceous valve. Next one, the left atria. So these are the left atria. So the left atria receiving oxygenated blood. Left atria receiving oxygenated blood through the four pulmonary veins from the lungs. The left atria are receiving oxygenated blood from the lungs through the four pulmonary veins. Each lung arising the two pulmonary veins. 2 lungs, 2 plus 2, 4 pulmonary veins is collecting from the oxygenated blood. This is oxygenated blood. So these are the deoxygenated blood. So they are the deoxygenated blood. Next one, the 2 atria and 2 ventricles separated. The atria and ventricles are separated by the septum. So these are the atrioventricular septum. So these are called the atrioventricular septum. Atrioventricular septum. The 2 atria and 2 ventricles separated by the atrioventricular septum. Atrioventricular septum. So these are the atrioventricular septum. So the left atria opens into the left ventricle. Right atria opens into the right ventricles through the valves. So these are called the atrioventricular valve. So these are called the AV valve. These are the atrioventricular valve. These are opening from the right atria opens into the left atrioventricular valve. See, left atrioventricular apparatus. Left atrioventricular apparatus. Ikkademo this side. So they are the right side. So these are the right atrioventricular aperture. Right atrioventricular aperture. So the left atrioventricular aperture contains a bicuspid valve. It has a bicuspid valve. So this side presenting on the tricuspid valve. So this side presenting on the tricuspid valve. So the left atria opens into the left ventricle through the left atrioventricular aperture. In this region presenting on the bicuspid valve. Next one, the right atria opens into the right ventricles. So these are presenting on the tricuspid valves. So left side bicuspid valve, right side is the tricuspid valves. Next one, ventricle. Next one, so they are the ventricles. Atria are the completed. Next one, the ventricles. So the ventricles are the thick walled. Ventricles are the, so atria are the thin walled blood receiving chambers. Atria are the thin walled blood receiving chambers. So next one, ventricles. So the ventricles are the thick walled. Ventricles are the thick walled blood pumping chambers. Thick walled blood pumping chambers. So the left ventricle is larger than the right ventricle. The left ventricle is larger than the right ventricle. Left ventricle is larger than the right ventricle. Next one, so the ventricular valves. So the left ventricular valve. left ventricular valve is a thicker than the right ventricular valve. Left ventricular valve thicker than the right ventricular valve. So the inner side of the ventricles contain a muscular ridges. Inner side of the ventricle contain a muscular ridges. So these are the muscular ridges is called the columnae carneae. Columnae carneae. So these columnae carneae, some of the large conical shaped structures. Large conical shaped structures. So these are called the papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. Some of the large and conical shaped structures. So they are called the papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. The papillary muscles connecting through the bicuspid and tricuspid valves through the heart strings. So these are the heart strings connecting through the heart strings. So these are the heart strings. Heart strings. Heart strings. So these are the ventricles. So these are the ventricles. Next one, nodal tissues. Nodal tissues. The nodal tissue. So the first one, the nodal tissue contain a SAN. Nodal tissues are the two types. One is the SAN. So these are the SAN. Another one is the AVN. Another one is the AVN. SAN means sino-atrial node. Sino-atrial node. So the AVN means atrioventricular node. Atrioventricular node. First one SAN. So the SAN is presenting on the right atrium, right upper corner. SAN is presenting on the right atrium, right upper corner near the opening of superior vena cava. Near the opening of superior vena cava. Next one AVN. So the AVN is the atrioventricular node is presenting on the right atrium, left lower corner. Right atrium, left lower corner near the opening of coronary sinus. Near the opening of coronary sinus. Next one, the SAN, they generate the action potentials. SAN generate the action potentials. So these are called the pacemaker. SAN is also called as pacemaker. Next one, AVN. So the AVN is also called as relay point. AVN is also called as relay point. Next one, the AVN continue to the bundles. So the AVN is continue to the bundle. The bundle. So this bundle is called the AV bundle. This bundle is called the AV bundle. So the AV bundle is a further divided into two branches. One is the left bundle branch, another one is the right bundle branch. One is the left bundle branch, another one is the right bundle branch. Next one, the bundle branches further divided into Purkinje fibers. Further divided into Purkinje fibers. So these Purkinje fibers, they totally, the impulse sending from the total ventricular muscles. Ventricular muscles. First one SAN, SAN to AVN, AVN to AV bundle, AV bundle to bundle branch. Bundle branch are the left bundle branch, the right bundle branch. After bundle branch divided into Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. Normally the SAN generate the action potential. The time is the 0.6 second. Generate one action potentials. Normal human beings per minute heartbeats, heart contraction and relaxation, heartbeats 70 to 80 times for a minute. For a minute, approximately 72 times. Heartbeat times are the 72 times for a minute. For a minute. Next one, aortic arches. Next one, aortic arches. Aortic arches. So the human heart contains two aortic arches. One is the pulmonary arch, another one is the systemic arch. First one, systemic arch. First one, systemic arch. So these are the systemic arch. So the systemic arch systemic arch. So the systemic arch arising from the left ventricle, it sends the oxygenated blood. It sends the oxygenated blood from the all the body parts. It sends the oxygenated blood from the all the body parts. Its opening region presenting on the valve. This valve is called the aortic valve. This valve is called the aortic valve. Next one, pulmonary arch. Next one, pulmonary arch. So the pulmonary arch arising from the right ventricle. Pulmonary arch arising from the right ventricle. Pulmonary arch arising from the right ventricle. So it was sending from the deoxygenated blood. The pulmonary arch, the sending from the deoxygenated blood from the lungs. So this opening region, the presenting on the valve. This valve is called the pulmonary valve. This valve is called the pulmonary valve. These two valves, the aortic valve and pulmonary valve, they are formed by the three semilunar valves. Next one, the pulmonary arch and the systemic arch. Pulmonary arch and systemic arch, these two connecting place is called as ligamentum arteriosum. The two connecting place is called the ligamentum arteriosum. So these are the structure of human heart. So deeply discussed in the previous classes. So they are the diagrammatic explanation of structure of human heart. Next class I discuss the cardiac cycle.